Hey everybody, this is Chris Ward. I'm the CEO of Lazy Day Pools. I'm the inventor of the Zero Chlor Pool System, and I have created and built three multi-million-dollar companies. This video is going to be on five tips on how to get your business funding through angelsandalphas.com. Angels are female investors through angelsandalphas.com. Alphas are male investors, and basically uh, they invest in home service companies. And uh, what I'm going to talk about now is five things that you can do that can improve your chances of getting funded through Angels and Alphas. So before you apply, you should go over these five things because Angels and Alphas really is a completely different thing. It's not like you're applying for a loan through a bank. These are actual investors who have experience in home service, building home service businesses, and they invest their own money into your business. And you just have to understand that it's a completely different approach. If they like what they see on your application, they may offer you 10, 30, $50,000 just within 20 minutes. But if you go through the process incorrectly, it's not going to work out well. So that's what this video is for, is just help you be have a higher chance of getting funded. So the first thing is you need to understand what Angels and Alphas is. Angels and Alphas is a group of investors, a network of investors that basically you apply through the website. They look at your application, and based on the investors' desires, wants, and needs, they will make a decision whether or not to write you a check. So that's why the decision from Angels and Alphas can come much faster. Some of you can get a check within a few days. Now, understand that once your application is submitted, obviously these investors are going to want to check up and make sure that you are telling the truth on your application. And so just be aware of that. Whatever you say on the application, they are going to check into. So you might as well just be honest. And that brings us to our second one, is to be honest. Be honest during the application process, because you're not going to trick anybody. All these investors have seen it all. They've built their own companies. They've been in your position before. They've all, been a startup company with no revenue at all, and then they've built it up to whatever they built their companies to. So you're not going to trick anybody. So just be honest. Don't even attempt to try to, stretch the truth about your business. Just be honest about where you are at. The next one is bank statements. Obviously, they're going to want to see bank statements. Anybody is. If you are, they don't care about the size of your company. They are looking for small companies, 1 to 3 employees generally, that they can invest in and take to a much higher level. That's what they're good at. They don't look for $10 million companies. They're looking for companies that are as low as $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year in revenue. Although those are a lot smaller than what they generally deal with. But if you have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in revenue, you'll still be a good match for Angels and Alphas, but you're going to have bank statements to show that. So what happens a lot of times when these applications come in, the business owner doesn't have bank statements. They've never even started a checking account under their company name, or a doing business as account. They're basically just telling the customer to write the check to them directly. So if that's the case, then technically you don't really own a company. You're just kind of doing side work. And if you're just doing side work and you haven't committed to even getting a business license and a bank account for your company, then you're just a side hustle. So you're not even really a business. So you should not even apply, because they're not gonna deal with you. But if you are doing a side hustle, let's say you're doing a side hustle, I don't know, mowing grass, and you are making 50, 60, maybe 100 grand a year in revenue, but you never have taken the time to get a business license, get a bank account, then go ahead and do that. Because after 3 months of showing that revenue, then you can apply and you can do it. So that's something you need to be aware of. The other thing is we talked about this briefly earlier. Don't worry about the size of your company. The size of your company is not as important. When you go to a bank, they're going to want to see that you're making, hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue. And a lot of banks won't deal with you. Even if you're making $1 million a year in revenue, they still won't mess with you because it's just not a big enough deal to make sense for them. But angels and alphas is different. They are perfectly fine with you having a very small business, even with one employee. If you're the only employee of the business, they're perfectly fine with that. That's not going to hurt your chances of getting funded. In fact, it may help depending on the totality of the circumstances. But just keep that in mind. A lot of people, before they apply, they think that it's going to be a problem because they're just not that big, not big at all. And that will not be a problem with angels and alphas. So go ahead and apply and see what they say. The other thing is understanding your place in the business cycle and thinking accurately. Okay, so you all know the stats. 90% of businesses are new businesses. 90% of new businesses are out of business within 5 years. So almost no companies survive. Running a business is hard. It's very, very hard. And so that's what Angels and Alphas is all about. It basically pairs relatively new business owners, small business owners that are running a home service company. It pairs you with a business owner who has already proven that they're one of the 10% that make it. Not only one of the 10% that make it, but they're one of the 1% that do really, really well. Okay. So now what they're doing is they've grown their business as much as they can. Now they're investing in your business and then growing that. It's just a way of building a business empire for these investors, and you get to benefit from that. So what I've seen over the past 5 years of mentoring other business owners is that a lot of business owners have no self-awareness at all. They think, they're like, well, I've been doing this for 3 years. I can barely pay myself, but I don't need any help. If you can't pay yourself and you've been doing it for 3 years, you definitely need help. Okay. If you're not rocking and rolling and making tons of money, you definitely need help. So think accurately. Know where you are at in your business cycle. If you've been working on your business for 2 years and you're still at $50,000 in total revenue and you're paying yourself 25 grand a year, you got major problems. And an angel or an alpha sitting down with you for an hour will triple your income like that easily. That's so what you bring to the table is the fact that you've already had the courage to start your own company and give it a shot. 90% of Americans won't do that. So that's good. You have the courage and to actually execute on your ideas. Most people, everybody has ideas. Very few people will actually start doing the work that it takes to build a business. You've already done that, so you're ahead of the curve on that. But just because you did that doesn't mean you're good at it. Most people are good at one of two things. They're good at the service they provide. So if you clean houses for a living, you're probably very good at cleaning houses, but you're probably not very good at running a business. And that's normal. That's normal. That's why so many businesses fail, because everybody thinks that they're good at business, but 90% of them aren't. That's why 90% of businesses go out of business. So Angels and Alphas puts together people who know how to run and grow the business with people who know how to provide the service. You put those two together, and that's when miracles happen. It's actually incredible to see. So even though one of the angels or the alphas may invest in your business, it's not the check that they write that causes the miracle to happen in your business. It's their experience. It's the fact that they already know what you need to do. Like, they're not theorizing and learning as they go. They've already done it. They've built a multi-million-dollar company. They're going to come in and apply those same principles to your company. It's very simple. One other quick tip is if you do get funded by an angel or an alpha, don't do that thing where you refuse to accept their mentorship. If they're telling you to do some things, don't fight them on that. That's, first of all, they'll pull out. They'll just say, "I'm not dealing with you. I'll go deal with a business owner who wants to succeed." They have that option, and they'll just pull out. So don't do that. If you're lucky enough to get funding, accept their mentorship, because their mentorship is what is worth millions. It's not the check they write you. The check they write you is going to fund the growth of your business, but it's their knowledge that is worth more. Their knowledge is worth millions. The check they write you is probably worth tens of thousands. So don't reject their mentorship. Do what they tell you with a smile on your face. That's it. Good luck in funding your business.